Hi, my name is Corey Graham 2.0. I am actually the managing director of Drenalin Productions. We are one of the companies sponsoring the Caribbean Cultural Conference coming up on Friday, June 18th. So what does Drenalin do? I will actually get the project assistant on this particular project, Ted, to give you the short version. Ted?
Hi, my name is Ted, and Drenalin is about creating authentic relationships with different companies and associations while helping them to create authentic relationships with their target audience and customers.
Right, and that's exactly what we do. Essentially, there's a whole talk about social media. Sometimes we don't like to use the word social media when we're talking about what we do because people get away from the fact. It's really what social media has done is allowed companies to be human, to actually interact with people rather than going on the TV and just saying, oh, wow, this is the greatest product ever, and you're going to do something ridiculously abnormal now that you can't really do. Instead, you have to be real and authentic and keep connections with your audience. One of my focuses in working with Drenalin is working with some of the younger people. One, because there's the thinking that they understand social media better. Yes, I believe that is important if we are going to use this social media platform to help build out this Caribbean product. That is important to have young people who are at the start of their careers, understanding and seeing the full picture, the dirty side, and even the obviously the bright side, so that they could carry it. In terms of the music business, of course, we all know how important it is for the fans of an artist to be able to touch that artist and spend money on the products that that artist has. In terms of Drenalin's perspective on the music industry in general, I guess I would take my bias and go with social media and the authentic connections. I think that the industry is going, and the internet playing such an important role is allowing the platform for Caribbean artists to make authentic connections with the millions of Caribbean people in the diaspora. I think that if we could do that, a lot of Caribbean artists would, a lot more I should say, would do very, very, very well for themselves. Right now, a lot of artists just focus on what's going on around them. But if they could really plug into the Caribbean diaspora around the planet, then, life could be very, very different for a lot of people. And then if you think about it, since our independence, we've made pretty much all of our money on tourism. There are a lot of people who love the Caribbean, and there are a lot of people who love the Caribbean culture. So if we could connect with the Caribbean diaspora and then connect with all those people who just love the Caribbean, I mean, well, we would have it made. If we could see the Caribbean diaspora in a holistic sense, as the Caribbean Cultural Conference is now positioned to do, we could come together and understand the industry and build the industry together. It would really be, we will have it made. For example, one of the projects that we work on, Boom Try Radio is 24/7 streaming Caribbean content. It's more or less representing music from all over the Caribbean, or as much as we could muster. And one thing about that project is it started years ago when there weren't many authentic Caribbean stations, and interestingly enough, I met a few people from Tokyo just randomly online, and when I told them that I was involved in the Boom Tribe project, they just freaked completely out. And these were people who would have been listening to the radio, as in they just wanted to feel the Caribbean vibe. It might have been a Caribbean, in one case it was a Caribbean person, and they wanted to feel the Caribbean vibe, and they went searching. Nobody didn't give them a link or anything. They went searching, they found this, and they just loved it and they stuck with it. There are so many examples of that. If the Caribbean Cultural Conference could help get everybody on board with putting together this authentic Caribbean experience that could be sold to the world, I am definitely on it. It's a great project, and Drenalin has been afforded the opportunity to put together the CaribbeanCulturalConference.com, which is a blog. And let me just stop here. It's it. Any projects that we work with, we see it as a continuous evolution. And I think that is what one thing the internet does. Drenalin has been able to build more or less this portal which would allow people to connect via Twitter or via Facebook to learn about things going on in the conference. Specifically this year, which I think is the big thing, we will be working to have the discussions and also some of the presentations streamed live online, and we're working very hard to make sure that people wherever in the world they can actually ask questions or contribute to the discussion in different ways. Some might be text, maybe we could do voice, and really just facilitating those authentic connections. We're very pleased to be able to bring that to the table at the Caribbean Cultural Conference.